Welcome everyone to this historic moment, the first Conscious Planet Save Soil event here at the Excel Centre in London. In the last few weeks, we've seen a huge support for the Save Soil movement, both here in London and around the world. We'd like to take a moment to play you a short video showing you some of these moments.
It's a great pleasure for me, these beautiful nations, these pearls of the ocean, which are the Caribbean nations, are going for this first. Soil is not a separate subject. If we are interested in health, if we are interested in agriculture, if we are interested in the well-being of the citizens of today and the unborn child of tomorrow, attending to soil right now, attending to the soil biodiversity right now, this is a must-do thing in our life. Soil body. The only thing that we hated about you were you were on the opposite side. Always. But otherwise, we couldn't help loving you. We are at a cusp of time right now. If we act now, if we bring in the policies and start implementing this, in the next 12 to 15 years, we can make a significant turnaround.
So this memorandum of understanding that we are signing, it will also bring some technical assistance to the Caribbean region.
This is a historic moment because here is the first step to turn around.
Sadhguru, welcome to the Daily Show. Wonderful. I know that we also are facing a soil crisis where some people are estimating that if we do nothing, in 50 years' time, we may not be able to grow anything because we may run out of soil, which, forgive my ignorance, I did not know that soil is even something that we could run out of.
The thing is, this has happened in the last 50 to 100 years of industrialized farming, that the organic content in the soil is going away because there's no replenishment.
Are you getting any signs that governments are enthusiastic to try and do something about this?
See, in the last 2 years, I've been talking to various country heads, various politicians, political parties. We have written to 730 political parties on the planet to make sure that they include soil and ecology as a part of their election manifestos, as their political philosophy. Whatever they believe in, right, left, center, whatever they are, soil is one thing which is a common factor for all of us. We're always looking at what divides us. It's time, if you don't understand the consciousness of this cosmos and stuff like that, at least you understand you come from the soil, you live off the soil, when you die you go back to the soil, that much you get it.
So this is something that you're very concerned about, and rightly so, that there's a problem with the topsoil in America.
50% of the American farmers have not seen a dollar in the last 12 years. And the highest suicide rate among all professions is among the farming community in the United States. I don't want to be that one who didn't care enough to do something which matters, because right now we are consuming the soil and food that belongs to the unborn child. This is a crime against humanity.
I hear you.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
His spiritualist techniques have gained him a following of millions, and we welcome Sadhguru.
Good morning to you. In the first 15 to 18 inches of the soil, you are a consequence of that.
Yeah.
Even now, over 60% of your body is actually microbial life, only 40% is of parental genetics. So, ignoring that, thinking you can destroy the soil and live happily upon this planet is just a pipe dream, it's not going to work.
And you were interviewed by Trevor Noah, who's the darling of the left, and then you were interviewed by Joe Rogan, who's the beloved of the right recently. So is it Sadhguru who unites the left and the right, or the very important issue of…
Soil unites left, right, center, everybody.
Sadhguruji has said it's important for all, particularly leaders whose decisions affect millions of lives, to be conscious and inclusive. And this is where each one of us can help.
How are we going to make farming more respectable and more profitable as well?
When I go to the farmer, we are only talking economics. How to enhance your income. And if you want next generation to go for agriculture, this is the only solution. That he must make more money than a lawyer or a doctor or a IT professional.
Wish you a very successful, joyful, exhilarating journey.
I will take care of the acceleration and joy myself.
Yeah.
What I need is, next 100 days from 21st of March, we want the whole world to talk about soil.
We're looking at how can we involve women as leaders in climate action.
When this motorcycle journey is being flagged off, we are making a 7 or 8-year-old little girl flag it off. Unfortunately, adults have come to this place where if I see him, I will see what country he belongs to, what race is he, what religion is he, what caste is he, what creed is he, all this nonsense. But when they see a child a girl child, I believe people's hearts will become a little more tender. If you want to say, I love you to your child, you must just say save soil, because it is a more committed way of saying I love you.
Sadhguru's gift of making a systemic issue so personal to each and one of us of this room, and the generational responsibility so relevant for everyone.
You know, it's shocking and unnerving. We need to take this up and save the soil and act more sensibly and responsibly.
It's an extraordinary campaign. It echoes what we in the Commonwealth have been aspiring to do for a number of years.
Heads.
Heads.
You win the toss.
Batting or bowling?
I want to go to the pavilion. Catch me a bit big. There's your hero. Take a picture next to Kapil.
Sadhguru, it's a great pleasure to welcome you to London.
You are probably one of the most famous Indians, and what you're doing today is really important because people like you who have a wonderful following of millions and millions of people, and what you're doing with that is so important with saving the soil. If only they could have seen this at COP26. So I think what you're doing is phenomenally important.
You must write to the Prime Minister, save soil, okay? All the children say save soil.
Let's come together and sing
Good afternoon, everyone. Before we welcome our distinguished guests to the stage, we hope to take a moment to highlight the significance of this event and the movement that Satguru is launching here. Rather than a doomsday warning, the Save Soil event is a rallying call. We have a window of opportunity to be the generation that brought ourselves back from the brink, rather than the one that let us fall over. With this in mind, tomorrow, Satguru will be starting a 100-day journey across 27 nations as a lone motorcyclist. Meeting global leaders, influencers, citizens, and their elected representatives, he will be raising awareness to restore soil health. Are you with him? The Save Soil movement's aim is to unite and inspire 3.5 billion people to support long-term policies to revitalize soil. Ultimately, not for ourselves, but for future generations whose future we have the opportunity to protect. We would like to show you a short video now on the Save Soil movement.
We are talking about climate change, carbon emissions, and global warming and various other aspects, but we are not addressing soil. Soil is the habitat upon which zillions of lives thrive. Once there is no richness in soil, then you have forsaken the planet in many ways. Every responsible scientist in the world and the UN agencies are clearly saying we have only 80 to 100 harvests left. That means approximately 45 to 50 years of agricultural soil left on the planet. By 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing right now, and our populations will be 9.3 billion people. The food shortages that could manifest in the next 25 years, the consequences of that is unimaginable. Civil wars will unfold across the world once there is food shortage. What we are facing now is soil extinction. Why is soil becoming extinct? Where is it going away? What is happening to our soil? We must understand, if you add organic content to sand, sand will turn into soil. If you remove all organic content from the soil, soil will become sand. In normal agricultural soil, the minimum organic content should be between 3 to 6%. The most minimum is 3%. At least this minimum to keep the soil alive, to keep the soil as living soil is a must. Agricultural soils across the world, the depletion is so heavy. In most countries, more than 50% of the topsoil is already gone in the last 100 years. The nutrient levels have dropped significantly. The level of micronutrients you would get from your food in early 20th century to what you are getting from the same food now has dropped 90%. If you ate one orange in 1920s, what you got from it, now in 2020, if you have to get the same, you will have to eat 8 oranges. This is what we have done to our food.
Soil is the biggest ecosystem on the planet, and so few people know anything about it. 1 teaspoon of healthy soil probably contains more microbes than there are people on Earth.
The microbial life in the first 12 to 15 inches of topsoil is the basis of our existence. It is this magic beneath our feet which has produced the life that we are. This first 12 to 15 inches of soil is the basis of life for 87% of life on this planet, including you and me.
We have to begin to recognize that what we call our soil, Mother Earth, is a living organism.
Open soils, ripped open by ploughing, open to sunlight, is the basis of destruction of microbial life. So the focus should be on agriculture, the focus should be on seeing that land is under shade as much as possible, some kind of shade, grasses, herbs, bushes, trees. Conscious Planet is launching Save Soil movement to bring about a policy change to regenerate soil. As a part of this, I'm 65 and I'm riding 30,000 kilometers, a lone motorcycle journey, 30,000 kilometers across 24 nations to activate support from the citizenry to assure the governments long-term investments will be appreciated. So it's extremely important that soil regeneration is enshrined in the policy of every government on the planet. We must change the narrative on the planet that soil is a wealth, a legacy we have received from previous generations, and we have to pass it on as living soil for future generations. We are in a cusp of time. If you do the right things now, in the next 15 to 25 years, we can significantly turn this situation around and regenerate the soil. But if we allow this to progress like this for another 30 to 40 years, after 40 years if we attempt this, then it could take 150 to 200 years because that much loss of biodiversity would have happened. From 21st of March for 100 days, the whole world, every human being on the planet should talk soil. So we must hear the word soil, save soil everywhere to see that the narrative on the planet changes towards the most vital aspect of our life, the soil. Each one of you should reach as many people as you can to make this happen. Many global leaders and influencers are already participating in the movement. Be a part of this and let us make it happen.
For my part, as much as I can contribute.
We're going to save the soil. Do your part.
And saving the soils.
Our future, our children's future, and our planet's future depend on it.
Save the soil.
We know what we must do, so let's make it happen.
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 We would now like to request the Right Honourable Lord Karen Billamoria of Chelsea, the 7th Chancellor of the University of Birmingham and the current President of the Confederation of the British Industry, to please come to the podium.
Sadhguru, Your Excellency. Wow, look at this. Welcome. It was my great honor and privilege as the 7th Chancellor of the University of Birmingham and the first Indian to be Chancellor for Russell Group University in Great Britain to welcome Sadhguru yesterday at Birmingham. We had 2 events and you saw some of the film from those events and they were spectacular, and he was spectacular as always. If I may humbly say, the greatest thing that you can do in your lifetime is to change the world for the better. How many people, looking back at history, have genuinely done that? And I think of just a few weeks ago, I had the privilege to make a speech at the memorial service of Archbishop Desmond Tutu. a fellow of my college at Cambridge, Sydney, Sussex, where I was yesterday evening after Birmingham. And when I spoke at that memorial service, and you think of what that one man did to remove apartheid from South Africa with Nelson Mandela, and he changed his country, and he changed the world. Yesterday, when we hosted Sadhguru at Birmingham, in one of the rooms I pointed out to him there was a statue of Mahatma Gandhi. And if you've been to his ashram, I will never forget this. There's one of his sayings written on a wall. Right versus might. And that one man took on the biggest empire in the world at that time, and he won. Right prevailed. So, Sadhguru, what he has achieved, when I first met him years ago, he came to Parliament, and I've seen over the years how he has always spoken such sense, how he's been able to relate to everyone he meets with, whether it's one-to-one, whether it's thousands of people, whether it's at Mahashivaratri the other day, when 140 million people watched what Sadhguru was doing. So he rightly has this amazing ability. He's one of the best communicators I've ever come across. Ever. He has this amazing ability, and we are blessed to benefit from that. But if you have that ability, you have the ability to change the world for the better. And I, as president of the Confederation of British Industry, was at COP26, the UN Climate Change Conference in November. I was there for 1.5 out of the 2 weeks. I spoke at about 30 different events. Not one person mentioned soil. No one. $130 trillion of investment is going to be available for climate change and the environment and biodiversity and climate change, and not one person mentioned soil. So here's Sadhguru highlighting one of the biggest challenges ahead of us, and that is save soil and make it happen. He has said yesterday, and you heard on the film, that soil is a source of life. He is talking about a living soil. So we've now all got to make this happen. And I'm so delighted, as an entrepreneur, I think Sadhguru is a great entrepreneur. He sees a problem, he sees the solution, and he wants to act, and he wants to act quickly. And that's what entrepreneurship is about. And the other thing about entrepreneurship is there's one word that summarizes entrepreneurs more than anything else in other people, is they have guts. They have the guts to do it. And they have the guts to never give up when other people would give up. Sadhguru never ever gives up. So now, all it remains for me to say is this. Sadhguru, thank you for what you're doing. We wish you every success as you set off tomorrow. And thank you as a Zoroastrian Parsi for choosing Navroz Day, the 21st of March, New Year's Day for us to set off. The spring equinox. And as it happens, it's my younger son Josh's 21st birthday on the 21st of March 2022. So thank you, Sadhguru. So 27 countries, 30,000 miles, 3.5 billion people. Sadhguru, you're going to change the world and make it a better place. We wish you every success. Save soil. Let's make it happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful words. We now invite Her Excellency Gayatri Issar, the current High Commissioner of India to the UK, to the podium.
Namaskar. Delighted to be here. I wish Lord Karan Bilimoria on Nowruz Day tomorrow, the Parsi New Year. Sadhguruji, a warm welcome to London. We are looking forward to the launch of your solo journey from London. I had the privilege of welcoming you at the Indian High Commission, where we spoke about how this kind of energy can be channelized and must be channelized to the lawmakers and to the makers of policy. And in that direction, it's wonderful that we have Lord Karan Bilimoria here. And over the last few days, we have been interacting with such eminent thought leaders and thought influencers in London and the other cities in the United Kingdom. Friends, we are going to be hearing from Sadhguruji, a unique thought leader who reminds us of the value of humanity, how we can be happy, healthy, and conscious citizens of the planet, that we must share in harmony with all the other gifts of nature in a sustainable way. Sadhguruji has a worldwide following of millions, and a part of that following is here, right in front of us. He has channeled your positive energy to pursue higher purpose, wherever collective action is the key to address global causes, whether it is rejuvenation of rivers, conservation of nature, preservation of our planet, and the gifts that we are enjoying now for the coming generations. I'm happy that Guruji chose London for the launch of his Save the Soil campaign. It is from here, it is a very, very important venue to start spreading his message and asking everyone on the way to help spread the word about the need for concerted action by the international community to bring policies and laws that specifically ensure conservation of soil. Guruji will meet people along the way, ordinary citizens, representatives of the people, governments and political as well as leadership, businessmen, industrialists, people like you who will help him to raise awareness and to trigger result-oriented initiatives. That is important. Awareness is fine, enthusiasm is fine, but what are you going to do to trigger result-oriented initiatives across the more than 25 nations along the way, and also in your own places where you have come from? Sadhguru has recently signed understandings with 6 Caribbean governments. Here in London, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, which represents 2.5 billion of the people on the planet, has pledged support through the Commonwealth's Living Lands Initiative. One of the biggest supporters of Sadhguruji is our own Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, who represents 1.3 billion people in India. Prime Minister Modi has made our 1.3 billion people very conscious of India's ancient tradition of worshipping, preserving, and living in harmony with nature. In his words, reduce, reuse, recycle, recover, redesign, and remanufacture have been part of India's cultural ethos. India will continue to act for climate-resilient policies and practices as we have always done. Friends, the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification predicts that soil extinction could become a reality if soil degradation continues at the present rate. The Food and Agricultural Organization estimates that all the world's topsoil may be extinct in only 60 years. By 2045, food production may drop by 40% already, as by that time, the world's population would cross 9.3 billion. So if humankind is to survive, we really have no option but to preserve our ecology. It is encouraging that through sustained efforts, India today has 49 Ramsar sites, that is specially preserved wetlands, which are spread over 1 million hectares, which were about to go extinct, and a special effort has been made to save them. Our government has also made a bond challenge pledge to bring under restoration 13 million hectares of degraded land by 2020 and an additional 8 million hectares by 2030. So since 2015, we have restored more than 11.5 million hectares of degraded land, which you saw on the film looking very brown across the Indian peninsula. So we are on track to achieve our national degradation neutrality commitment. At COP26 recently, that is November 2021, Honorable Prime Minister of India announced a number of new and exceptional initiatives and national commitments which were very well received. 3 of them are in pursuance of his personal initiatives related to capturing solar energy, the initiative for a coalition on disaster-resilient green infrastructure, and the third initiative was how to promote and live a sustainable lifestyle. With the UK, this theme is very much a part of our roadmap to 2030. We have a full chapter in our bilateral cooperation agenda on climate, and under that we have agreed that we would take forward collaborative partnerships in protecting nature and biodiversity, and a number of initiatives have been listed below that which are presently under implementation under the leadership of our External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, and UK Foreign Secretary, Madam Elizabeth Truss. So we have launched together at COP26 the One Sun, One World, One Grid initiative and the Infrastructure for Resilient Island States. India has also launched the Lifestyle for Environment, a coalition of like-minded people to promote sustainable lifestyles. So our Prime Minister has described this as a global movement of pro-planet people, 3 Ps, a coalition for life. So we invite you all to join or support or propagate or promote this trinity of 3 initiatives of India. With these words about India's climate action and endeavors, I request the respected Sadhguruji to speak to us, to inspire us on how we can do more. Please show us the way, Guruji. I thank you all once again.
Now, without further ado, we warmly invite Satguru to the stage.
Kalo na janati tav jananam. Kalo na janati tav samapanam. Drushto maya tava Mahakarah Yogeshwara Kala Kala Yogeshwara Kala Kala. Namaskaram to all of you. Someone was asking me, Sadhguru, why are you wearing shades inside? This is a message to the sun. When I'm riding through northern Europe, he must shine really bright. When I enter Arabia, the deserts of Arabia, he must tone down a bit. When I enter India, he must shine bright once again and keep the monsoon away just in the areas where I'm riding. It's a deal. So, here we are, we have been on a 250-day countdown to this day and tomorrow. Our volunteers and a core group of people and many others who have overnight become very strong volunteers without having been enrolled in any of our programs or spiritual processes, just like that. Soil volunteers, many prominent people around the world, leaders, people who hold responsible positions, entrepreneurs, variety of people. I bow down to all of them to bringing this movement to this level of aliveness. And the heads of states of 6 Caribbean nations, their enthusiasm and their commitment was unbelievable. The way they responded to the whole thing and so eager to sign up. Another 8 nations are preparing their documents to sign. And as they mentioned, Baroness Patricia now wanting to sign up with the Commonwealth nations, which is 54 nations with 2.5 billion people population, which is more than half of our target, huh? And above all, many members of the parliament here, the British Parliament, the Lords of British Parliament, I'm sorry, Honorable Karan Bilimoria is here, and Her Excellency Gayatri Ji is here, and various other people that I have spoken to, the leaders who hold many responsible positions in the world. The enthusiasm with which they have responded is fantastic. At the same time, what's been a bit shocking for me is that a whole lot of people who hold responsible positions, I've spoken to many agricultural ministries around the world, I found still most nations are treating soil as an inert substance that they could fix by adding nitrogen or phosphate or this or that. It's very important that we bring this message to the world that soil is a living system, it's a living force. It is because of that living soil that every other life has sprouted on this planet, whether it's a worm, insect, bird, animal, tree, man, woman, everything has only come from this soil. Well, if we get it now, it'll be wonderful. Otherwise, of course, we'll get it when we're buried. That is also good. But that's a shame on a generation that we didn't get it when we had to get it, we got it much later. We will get it anyway, that's the thing, there's an assurance, we'll anyway get it. But when we get it, makes the difference. This is true with your life also. You wanted to get married, but you couldn't make up your mind, this one, which one? On 82nd birthday, you made up your mind. Great at last you made it up, but at 82, marriage will be a nuisance. That would be good when you're 22, 25, 30, maybe even later, but 82, you want to be, usually in India it's called vanaprastha. That means people walk away from the family and go and live in a secluded place, because at that time, if you lived an active life, if you missed everything at 82, you will be still feeling like a teenager, that's a problem. Otherwise, at that time, you will see, if you really lived your life, every jing-bang that's happening, everything looks like a bit of a nuisance, you like to stay away from all that stuff. It's a natural aspiration in a human being. If one has matured, at 82, if you're still feeling like 18, it's a tragedy. Don't think it's a good thing, because in Western societies they're promoting, if somebody is 80 and they're still pretending to be 18, they say, wow, great, you're still so young. There is no virtue about just being young all the time. You need to get old, it's very nice. Yes. Where is the sense in trying to be 18 all the time? It doesn't make sense. When you need to grow old, you need to grow old and it's nice. Hello? So this whole thing about youthfulness is the biggest thing in your life. No. Youthfulness is a lot of energy, but comes with a huge encumbrance of compulsiveness. Yes. That is the time, those of you who are little above youthfulness, that is the time you did the most idiotic things in your life. Hello? Yes or no? Because you had the energy, but you didn't have the balance and the wisdom and the knowledge and the experience of life. So if you keep yourself well, I was just telling them, somebody was saying, Sadhguru, you're getting to ride all kinds of good motorcycles. This is their problem right now, young people. I said, see, when I was 18, I was really dreaming of riding a really good motorcycle, and it got realized when I was 62. So just keep yourself well, because you don't know when your dreams will come true. You don't know when your dreams will come true, keep yourself ready, huh? Hello? So, this journey, well, we will do it joyfully, but it's not a joyride in it, as the joyride stands for. 30,000 kilometers is, at my age, is definitely not a joyride. So why? Because I can quote many things, but to put it very simply, for example, in India, because I see a whole lot of brown faces, No, I think it's just my shades. Oh, okay, I understand. In the last 20 years, over 300,000 farmers have committed suicide. If this doesn't wake you up, what else I'm asking? What else needs to happen? What is it that needs to happen to wake up the humanity in you? Well, people are sleeping peacefully, I'm glad they sleep well, but your humanity should be awake, isn't it, when you see such things unfolding? We've been in the villages, we've been working in a place called the suicide capital of India, which is Yavatmal. The Yavatmal region, our volunteers are incessantly working. They made some difference, but without a whole economic situation changing, without policy changes happening in that direction, significant changes will not happen and permanent changes, sustainable changes will not happen. This is not just in India, it's across the world. It's mostly unreported, like just now the Lord was saying. In a conference where the entire world is involved to solve the problems of climate change and global warming, there is no mention of soil. I don't want to comment on that, you must figure out why. You must research and figure out why. When soil accounts for 40% of global warming and climate change process, why the word soil is not mentioned? You must look at it. If you're a responsible citizen, you must look it up, why is it so? Not just dismiss it, oh, they didn't mention. No, why do they not mention when somebody is talking about finding solutions, why are they not mentioning about the most important problem on the planet and which could have disastrous impact on our lives? You find out about that, I'll not get into the politics of it. But even in United States, the maximum number of suicides happen among any given profession. Farmers are the people who commit maximum number of suicides in United States. Because in the last 12 years, 50% of the country's farmers have not seen a single dollar of profit. Well, you see massive migration happening from Africa, trying to cross the Mediterranean and get to Europe, you know. Terrible things are happening, very cruel things, because you can't just let people from a whole continent to enter another continent, that's going to be another kind of disaster, nor can you push them back into the ocean. It's a hard choice for everybody. It's not an easy thing. For those who want to come and for those who want to push back. For both, it's not a good choice to make. Somewhere you have to forsake your humanity to do certain things, isn't it? Unfortunately, that is the reality in which you are living. Who are these people who are coming up north into Africa, wanting to get to Europe? If their soil was rich, if they could produce food, if not for the marketplace, at least for their own family, if they could produce food, you think these people would drag their women and children and enter into some unknown place? Hello? Do you believe that? Do you believe that? If they could grow not some commercial level of crops, if they could grow food, enough food for their own family, they wouldn't leave the land and come. They are coming because it's simply impossible to live. Desertification is happening at a pace that you can't imagine. In the last probably 25 years, 10% increase of desert, proper desert has happened in the African continent. Similar percentages happen everywhere. It's more stark and visible in Africa, but it's happened everywhere. As you saw, the India's map was looking almost 70% all like desert, because 62% of India's soil has only less than 0.5% organic content. This is very simple. This is not some rocket science. This has not happened because not of lack of technology or knowledge. This has not happened only because of lack of commitment and sincere approach to what we need to do. If you take sand, you can try this at home, take a half or 3/4 pot full of sand, add another quarter of organic content, mix it up, plant anything you want, it'll burst forth. Because sand becomes soil the moment you add organic content. The moment you take away organic content, soil becomes sand. This is not new to us. For thousands of years we've known this, all right? India is one land, particularly southern India, has a history of over 12,000 years of agriculture. That is, we've been farming the same land for over 12,000 years, but we kept the fertility of the land really good. But in the last 40-45 years, it's become desert-like because we got science. Science is supposed to bring solutions to us, solve problems for us. But now, this is what it's brought, not because there is any problem with the science, because of the way it is being applied. It's the application. Right now, you can say there is a war. The bombs, the bigger and the better bombs, I mean better. Better means they'll kill you better, that's what it means. Better does not mean it'll nourish you. Better bombs, the best bombs in the world, are a consequence of science and technology, isn't it? Nothing wrong with science and technology, but where do we use it, how do we use it, is a big question mark, is a massive question mark, isn't it? So this soil degradation has happened because of the way we've conducted our science and technology. This has happened, one, because of ignorance, another because of apathy, another because of keyhole approach to different problems. Like people have been telling me, Sadhguru, what is this new project that you have started, Save Soil? This is not a new project. For last 30 years I've been talking about the same thing. Well, we talked about trees. Oh, Sadhguru is talking about trees. Then he talks about water. Oh, he's talking water now, it's a new fashion. Then he's talking about rivers. Oh, he's really fascinated about the rivers, he loves Kaveri. I'm saying, what kind of idiot would think, I'll talk about trees without thinking about the soil? Where do you think you'll grow the tree, on your head? I'm saying people are repeatedly asking, oh, this new project. This is not new, 30 years incessantly we've been working to manifest this on the ground. Today it's come to a place that we can push it on the global scale. This confidence that we can push it on the global scale has not come because of what's been done or not done, because of absolute clarity of what can be done. And it can be done. I know it can always be done, but people wouldn't believe it, so we manifested this on large-scale projects where it's clearly visible that it can be done. And it can be done in such a way that it's economically extremely beneficial to the farming community. Without that, you cannot do it. You may have a lot of science, but if it does not benefit the farmer, it's not going to happen. So this manifestation has happened, one in the form of Project Green Hands, where our effort was to push 10% green cover on the agricultural land so that the remaining 90% will have the necessary organic content growing on their own land. If you want organic content, there are only two sources. I don't know what are the food apps in London. In India, there is Swiggy, Piggy, all kinds of things become very popular. What is it? Huh? Deliveroo? Okay. You may order your food on your food app, but somebody must cook it somewhere, right? Somebody must grow it, somebody must buy it, somebody must cook it. Then the app may deliver it to you with some convenience. But right now, I had parked myself in California for almost 25 days because we had to, we are bringing out some A certain number of music celebrities are involved now, they're making music for Safe Soil. You will be surprised who all are involved. Because of that, I sat there and every time I meet people, many of them coming up to me and saying, Sadhguru, my friend has made an app. It can solve anything. So let me tell you this. App technology may help us for better application. That's what app means. Hello? Application. For better application, you may use technology, but the source material has to be there. There are only two sources, vegetative litter or green litter and animal waste. There is simply nothing else. You cannot bring organic content from the moon or Mars that's not suitable for our lands. Hello? It can only be green material and animal waste. Animals have gone out of the farm long time ago because they don't work there anymore, machines have replaced. Well, it's good, but without animal waste you cannot fertilize the soil. Without green waste you cannot fertilize the soil. Trees have gone out, animals have gone out, machines have come. The problem with machines is they don't shit. Yes. Really, that's a problem. The good thing about animals is they do. And that is very essential because the nature of food cycle itself is such, what one eats and what one excretes or the very body of that animal becomes the food for another and another. This is how the entire complex cycle of life has been set up. This is also true in the soil, that there are trillions and trillions of organisms which are busy all the time. They are like Isha volunteers, 24 hours. if I remember right, it was the Denver airport, I'm at the Denver airport, when 25-30 people gathered there, because usually when I'm leaving I don't announce, otherwise they'll come to the airport and, all of you make a mess out of security situations. Somehow these 25-30 people got there, all of them flowers in their hands and singing and dancing and laughing. So one of the airport officers came and asked, why are they all so happy and like this? I said, they're all so happy that I'm leaving after 4 days. Because 4 days they have not slept, 4 days they have not eaten properly, 4 days their life has been dislocated. Now they're all celebrating that I'm just leaving. Well, that's been our life. So, these microorganisms are incessant and relentless workers, non-stop, they're going on. What is it that they're doing? They're not doing anything else, they must eat a lot and shit a lot. And that is ecology. Hello? I'm making ecology simple, simple as shit. Why? See, why is Sadhguru talking this kind of language? Because I've said nice things for the last many years and you didn't get it. So, the plants or trees or any green substance that grows, what is it that they are doing? They're doing a magic called photosynthesis, like all our volunteers are trying to do by wearing green shirts. Doesn't work like that, it's symbolic. Say, I'm autumn. So, this photosynthesis, scientists predict that it could have been around 1 billion years ago when one algae or a fungi got really smart idea. You know, people have told you, some of you Indian people might have seen this advertisement, Dimag ka batti jalao. You seen that one? So suddenly one day, thousands of years ago, a caveman, usually a man is depicted, it could have been a woman, because who else would set fire first? So a man got this idea and set fire to something and decided you could cook your food on the fire instead of eating everything raw. Oh, since then whatever this app that you said is a now 21st century consequence, but it is that one, that somebody learned how to use fire to make their food. Huh? Yes or no? It's from there. So similarly, well before you, 1 billion years ago, some algae or fungi got a bright idea to learn to cook the food from sunlight, solar energy. First solar panel was made 1 billion years ago, and this perpetual solar energy, using that, started cooking its own food. It is that cooking which is evolved into various various kinds of vegetation and leaves. All the green material that you see on that planet is that cooking technology going on, using the perpetual energy of the sun. The plant is cooking up food. Cooking up food means, oh, what are you doing? I thought you were about to attack me, what happened? Okay, she did this, she was just wearing a coat, I think, jacket, I think. I thought she's coming at me. So, started manufacturing food, essentially drawing carbon from the atmosphere, making it into carbon sugars so that they can exchange this for the food that the microbes hold, the nutrients that the microbes hold. Without this cash, this carbon cash, this what it's today called carbon dollars, what is it called? Carbon credit. So carbon credit system started 1 billion years ago between the microbes and the plants, between microbes which stay beneath the earth and those which function above the earth and turn green. And this carbon credit system went on. Without the carbon sugars, a plant cannot get its nutrients. If you want to experiment, don't do this. Already people have experimented enough, I'm just telling you, because it's very cruel to do this experiment. If you take a tree and take off all the leaves from the tree, again it'll try to sprout very vigorously. Take off every leaf, don't damage the rest of the tree, just the leaves. In 12 to 18 months the tree will die because it has no cash. There's no cash to buy food, it will die. This is how it is, the marketplace there. It's a very sophisticated and complex marketplace right beneath your feet all the time on. So this photosynthesis changed the way life is upon this planet. Today you and me are here because that small or that extremely smart algae or fungi somehow found how to manufacture or cook food from the sunlight. Because at that time, the oxygen level in the atmosphere was a shade over 1%. Today, it is around 21%. If this percentage of oxygen was not there in the atmosphere, there is no way you and me can be here. There is no way any of the complex animal forms could be here. So essentially, life as we know it, all the life that you can see with your eyes is a manifestation of photosynthesis. Rest of the life, they're very busy, but you can't see them, they're all microbial in nature. If you did not know this, only 40% of your body is your parental genetics. 60% is microbes. So in case your parents are telling you too many things, you can tell them you're only 40%. If you're just your mother, she's just 20%. Don't let that girl take it seriously, I'm just joking, okay? Because 60% is microbial activity, that's what is keeping us alive. The same is true with the soil. Beneath the soil, without this enormous life system happening, life on the surface would not happen. So today, the oxygen level is this much. Why I'm talking about this is, we want to change the narrative. Everybody is talking about carbon dioxide. Time to talk about oxygen, isn't it? Hello? If I say this, a lot of people are going to get against me because they want to nail those hydrocarbon people. They need not be nailed, we need to transform them. Hello? The oil companies, the coal companies, the power companies, automobile companies, you should not nail them because all of us have used them. Hello? All of us, every one of us, the lights are burning, the microphone is working, we're burning something, isn't it? We need to transform our businesses, no question about that. If things have to transform very quickly, they need support, they don't need a fight. Tell me, when you are fighting somebody, is there any room for your transformation? Hello? When things are good, we can sit down and see how to change things, isn't it? It's very, very important that this confrontational approach to ecological and environmental solutions has to go. It's very important that every business that is there, however evil you think it is, all of us are a part of it. All of us have used the products, all of us have enhanced their marketplace. Yes or no? We can decide to turn it around, but that'll take some time. Above all, we must give that much time for them to transform also. It's important. So, this whole business of being confrontational, people say war on climate change. Arey, if you want to launch a war, you must get aggressive and hot inside. If you're getting hot, that means global warming is happening. It's extremely important. We approach it cool and nice. What is the solution? The problem we know, and the problem is not elsewhere, all of us are problem. As a generation, we are a problem. As a generation, we can become a solution. What do you think? Problem or solution? This is an opportunity we have that do we want to become a part of the problem or do we want to become a part of the solution? This is the opportunity in every given situation, especially now with the biodiversity and ecological issues that we are facing, the soil degeneration we are facing, this is the thing. But Sadhguru, what shall I do? What shall I do? Shall I roll up my sleeves and fix my garden? That's very cute. But that's not a solution. You must do that because it'll give you some sense of what it is, but that is not a solution. Right now the problem has reached such a place, individual action is not going to be the solution. Individual action is wonderful, that is an expression of who you are, but that is not a solution. Solution can only happen if the solution gets enshrined in the policy of every nation on the planet. Otherwise, solution will not happen. We'll only talk about it. Like someone was saying, like I used to attend a lot of world peace conferences at one time. Sometime in early 2000, I said I will not come to any more these peace conferences because this happened. I will not name the conference because they're all very important people in the world. This happened, I'm in a World Peace Conference, a whole lot of people. Over 42 Nobel laureates are there. And one of the important aspects of world peace is poverty alleviation, because when there is no food and when there is poverty, you can't really make peace with it, it'll go off. So, one Nobel laureate please don't start guessing the names, came up on stage like this in the afternoon, around 2 o'clock, and he came up and went behind that, and he had such thick papers. I saw, when I go to the conference, I'll be sitting right here in the front because I want to listen to every word, thinking something will happen. Then he put his head down, went on reading. I'm counting the turn of the pages. World peace, world peace, world peace, so many things. This is 42 pages he read. Then I looked around, the whole hall had become really peaceful. Literally everybody except a security man and the hotel staff who were standing there, the whole thing was asleep. I'm the only fool sitting there and listening. I said, what happened? Where are all these people, like this? I said, no, Sadhguru, yesterday evening, Bacardi has organized some event. Oh, world peace, of course. So, then my turn came up, I thought, this is no point talking this, that. I said, see, so much talk, last 3 days I'm sitting here into great speeches of world peace, world peace, world peace. How many of you can genuinely put your hand on your heart and say, your mind is peaceful? They looked at each other, what kind of absurd question is this? How can mind be peaceful? We are talking about world peace, all right? I said, if your minds are not peaceful, how can the world be peaceful? If you and me are not here, world is peaceful. When all of you were sleeping, it was peaceful. When everybody is sleeping, it is peaceful, isn't it? If you cannot bring peace to your mind, do you believe you can make the world peaceful? You think it's a possibility? So, don't take this into, if I can't fix my garden, can I fix the world's soil? That is not the way to look at it. Right now, for policy change to happen, policy is being drafted at various levels, scientists have worked on it, we have developed a policy document for every nation based on its latitudinal position. There are 14 types of soil that we have identified for the soil type, the economic conditions of that given nation and the agricultural traditions of that nation, because even if you have all the science that you want, without addressing the agricultural traditions of that land, you cannot change things just like that. So based on this, we have produced some basic policy towards all nations separately, but this has to become enshrined in the policy as it is required for the given condition, for the given nation. Because we are not writing the policy for the nation, we are only writing the recommendation, direction. Rest of the policy has to be written by the sovereign nations. It is not anybody's business to write policy for them, but simple direction as to which way they should go, what are the actual issues, the science of it, the economics of it and the social aspects of it, the nation and the political leadership has to decide how. That is a complex process by itself. There's no one-shot solution for that. They have to work that out in different countries in different ways. But the simple thing is this, that agricultural lands must have 3 to 6% organic content. This must happen initially by incentives, by encouragement, by nudge. If things don't work and if things really get bad, then it has to become punitive and mandatory at some point. Because these things have happened to urban land, isn't it? There was a time you could build your house whichever way you want. You go to the old parts of London and see, there are any number of hundreds of homes with no concept of a window. One door, in and out through the same door. Have you seen homes like that all over? But today if you want to build, you have to allow some space. If you build more than what you should, they will come and demolish your house, yes or no? But such a law does not exist for agricultural lands anywhere in the world. If you have 10 acres of land, you can plow every inch of it, turn it into a desert in 10-15 years' time. Nobody there to ask you, why have you done this? This has to come, what do you think? It must come. You may own the land. As long as you live, you may own the land. But the soil is not our property. It's a legacy that's come to us from previous generations. In its living condition, we must pass it on to the next generation. That is a fundamental responsibility. If we take away the basic source of life for future generations, in my thought and emotion, it feels like it's a crime against humanity. There's many of you here, nearly 6,000 people. I want you to understand the power of who you are. I've said this before, probably many of you may not have heard, so I'll repeat this. This whole online aspect of Isha and Sadhguru popping up when you're watching movies, Sadhguru popping up when you're looking at pornography and saying inner engineering, you had such nuisance, isn't it? So this is happening to you because in 2006, I was in the III Isha Institute of Inner Sciences in Tennessee, and there was some kind of an expert about these online affairs, and I was just asking him, everybody is looking at the screen all the time, what are they looking for? Because I never get the time to look at this anything, I never get to browse anything. So what are they looking for? Very casually he says, Sadhguru, about 70% of the data is pornography. I said, hey, stop. What do you mean 70% of the data is pornography? He said, yes, Sadhguru. Then I asked one more guy. He says, yeah, it's somewhere around that. And also they told me that year, 1.4 million children below 15 years of age were sold online. When we sell our children, it means we've hit the bottom. There is no further place to go for a human being. Hello? But when we get a great technology with which we could communicate to the whole world and transact with the whole world, this is what we do. This is what we do. 70% pornography and we sell million children online. So then I made up my mind, okay, we need to go online, otherwise, you won't understand this. For almost 22 years, I did my work without a single media interview, without a single advertisement, without a brochure, without any kind of banners, nothing. Only by word of mouth, only by word of mouth, still hundreds and thousands of people came. So it's very hard to explain this, that I'm a very private person. But I have not had a private moment in the last 30 years. So, it's not my inclination, but we decided to do this and all of you are here, not necessarily because all of you went through a physical personal program, but the online has reached you in many ways. They're telling me in 2021, our video reach has been 2.2 billion. No, don't clap, don't celebrate my failure. I told you, when I was 25 years of age in 1982, I sat down and planned. On that day, the population was only 5.6 billion, and I found a way that if I simply sit here without messing with my mind, I burst forth in ecstasy. I experimented in so many ways, I knew that's how it works. Then I thought, this is it, I'm going to make the whole world ecstatic. Because I couldn't believe who wouldn't want it. Who will not want to live blissfully? I could not imagine who would not want to live like that. But see, 40 years 40 years, all right? Incessantly, 7 days of the week, 365 days we worked, but 2 billion is a serious failure, because now the population is 8 billion almost. So don't clap at my failure. I'm living with it, don't insult me further. But I'm a blissful failure. I know I will die a failure, but blissed out, so what? And if you did not know this, this is my wish for you also. You must also die as a blissful failure. Because you set up a small little goal for yourself, little better, 100 square feet bigger than your neighbor's house. You got there after 30 years of work, I did it. Come on, silly. This other creatures can do, It's all right for other creatures. For a human being invested with this much brain, after millions of years of evolution and putting you on top of the pile of all creatures on this planet, you're literally on top of the world. For one who is on top of the world, such petty goals, such petty dreams are not good for you, it's unbecoming of you, really. You must have a vision which cannot be fulfilled in 10 lifetimes if you come here. And you will die as a failure with 10% success. Good? So, I'm saying this many people, 6,000 people with today's technology available, various platforms available, if you make up your mind, really if you make up your mind, I don't have to do this tour, this ride, you yourself can reach 3 to 4 million people, yes or no? Hello? Only these 5 guys are saying yes, yes, these all green. So now, when you say such a big yes, now the question is only will you do it or not? Then what, I will stay in London for 100 days and enjoy myself. Will you make it happen? If you… every day for next 100 days, if you invest just 10 to 15 minutes of your time in a day, you can make this happen. This is the first time. This is the first time in the history of humanity that such tools are available to us. Never before was this possible. Even 50 years ago, this was not possible. Many great beings have come in this world, but when they spoke, hardly 10 people could hear. Because not about telephone, not about platforms, they did not even have a microphone. When Gautama spoke, you know what he did? His monks would be standing in a line every 15 feet. So if he says something, the first monk will repeat that, the second one will repeat that, the third one will repeat that, it'll go like this so that everybody… this is their microphone. Just look at the trouble that must have… by the time it reached the last guy, we don't know what the hell he said. Yes or no? Today we have these technologies, we have these possibilities. When we are able to do it, if we don't do it, we are a disaster, isn't it? My idea of a disastrous life is this: if what we cannot do, if we do not do, no problem. What to do? We cannot do. What we can do, if we do not do, we are a disaster. I want to make sure neither me nor you are such a disaster that we did not do what we can do. Let's make it happen, huh? This is not an agitation, this is not a protest, this is not against anybody. People are asking, Sadhguru, shall we, fertilizer company, shall we hit them? I want you to understand, tomorrow morning if all the fertilizer companies close down, your food production on the planet will come down to 25% of what it is right now. That will be a terrible disaster. That's not the way to do it. It is necessary, it is just that it's being used recklessly, that is the problem. These fertilizers, when they came first, approximately in a range of 45 to 60 years for most of the nations, when they first came, people really experienced fertilizer like magic. When they put the fertilizer, suddenly their crops sometimes multiplied 3 times over, 300% increase in yield. They really thought it's magic. In India, it's called as a green revolution. It got us out of famine-like situations in many places. There's not been a single famine since 1960 or 1957, I think. Since then, since I was born, there's not been a famine. That's why we're all well-fed. And that's important. That's very important, because if human beings have to realize their potential of what they could do and what they could be, the most fundamental thing is they must be well-nourished. Without that, nothing will happen. Without that, none of the other aspects of being human, whether physical process or intellectual process or the spiritual possibilities will exist, everything will evaporate. So, it is not about being anti-fertilizer, anti-herbicide, weedicide, no. All those things have assisted us to be fed, for this population to be fed. Now, we are doing it to a point of poisoning our own lives. That is happening because the soil has become so weak. It is a fact today that one must understand the substantial studies are there, you must also acquaint yourself with this. I want all of you, there is a training, I think on our website, where we are running a webinar, where you can train yourself to speak for 1 minute like you are a soil scientist. Even I'm doing it. Hello? For at least 1 minute, you must be able to speak with some sense of authority about the soil and its condition and where it should go. Educate yourself to that extent and make sure you speak. Whoever you meet, you speak. Whatever messages you send, you close with save soil. If you want to tell somebody, I love you, say, save soil, because definitely it's a more committed way of expressing your love for people, especially for children. If you love them, you must save soil, otherwise you're putting them in a place where no life should be, you know. So this process of what we are trying to do is to move 3 to 4 billion people, not in protest, in joy, that this is our privilege. As a generation, we turned back from the brink. We didn't fall over, we turned back. When such a privilege is there, you must handle this joyfully. This is not an angry protest, this is not a movement against somebody, this is for everybody. This is for life. It's very important you take this attitude. It doesn't matter, somebody will say this, that. All of you should understand, because I hear many of the volunteers, we must promote organic agriculture, regenerative agriculture. Do not say this. Let the farmer decide what kind of agriculture he wants to do. It's not your business to tell him that. Your business is to see that the necessary policies happen in the world by exercising the strength of your voice in a given country, to see that policy changes happen. If it happens in a few major countries, it'll happen everywhere. As I said, the CARICOM countries and now the Commonwealth nations and India, which is almost 1.3 billion people. All these are going towards it. If a few major nations go for it, rest will anyway go for it. Above all, I am addressing the UNCCD COP15 in Ivory Coast in the month of May. I'm taking a 2-day break in Arabia and going to Ivory Coast to address this. 170 nations are participating in this, their representatives will be there. So we are quite confident we will get a full-on yes from these 170 nations. But it is important we move these people on the ground. If we move 3 to 4 billion people, these 170 nations will definitely go for that. On 10th of May, I will be in Ivory Coast. Before that, you must get me these 3 to 4 billion people. It's the easiest thing to do because they're all on the Facebook, Instagram, this TikTok, that, this. Get there, do whatever you have to do, speak if you can, sing if you can, do a jig if you can, do whatever. Hello? Do whatever. Make a fool of yourself if you have to, but let's make it happen. So, recently when I was being interviewed by a journalist, the journalist came and sniggered, you think you're going to save the soil? I said, yes, we're moving in that direction. Said, do you think you can handle Monsanto? Said, why do I want to handle Monsanto? I think whatever you may think of them, they are working within the framework of national policy. We are trying to change that framework, that's all our business is. Within the framework, legal framework of nations, whatever businesses are functioning, whatever they are doing, it's their business, that's not our business. Our business is to make the framework in such a way that it is life-friendly, it is not anti-life at some point. You are in a democratic nation. Democracy does not mean you have to go out and demonstrate on the street. Democracy means, in Tamil, it's a better word for democracy. In Tamil language we say Jananayakam, that means people's power. People are the leaders, that's what it means. Yes, that's what democracy means. People are the leaders. All the members of the parliament, the ministers, the prime ministers, the presidents of the world, they are not… I'm just revealing a secret to you because many of you think so, they are not alien people. They were one like you and decided to be a little more responsible and rose to a position. We have created systems where nobody can function just the way they want, it twists them out in so many ways. Even if you get there, it'll twist you out. So now we are sitting here and giving commentary on their lives endlessly. Yesterday somebody asked me, Sadhguru, why are politicians so corrupt? I said, politicians are not corrupt, people are corrupt, but when they get power, it gets enhanced. Yes. If people were not corrupt, why would suddenly one guy pop up and be corrupt? It's not so. We have created cultures of corruption. What is beneficial for us, we do, we don't care what is happening to other life. We have been taught to believe every other life is here to serve us. No. We are here because of them. They are not here because of us. Let this be very, very clear. If the microbiome in your body freaks on you, you're finished. Doesn't matter what kind of genetics you got from your parents, what kind of medicines and doctors you have around you, if the microbial life within you freaks on you, you are done. No way you will survive. So let's understand that they are substantiating our life. We are just enjoying their magnanimity, or somehow we are the froth. The boil is somewhere else. We are just the froth right on the top. We have every right to enjoy that because we took millions of years to become like this, hello? Maybe not our own work, their work, but no problem. When you're on the top of the mountain, enjoy it. But at least you must feel like you're on top of the world, isn't it? Hello? You must at least walk on the street like you're on top of the world. That happened when you were a Neanderthal or whatever, you know. Now you're supposed to walk joyfully on the street, hello? No. That was a long time ago, you're still not losing the pose. So it's time we learn to do things, what matters to us, we approach it responsibly and execute it joyfully. This is very important because developing a huge amount of hate is not going to solve the problem. It is going to complicate and multiply the problem. Businesses which have been there for decades, today if you try to hit them, what will they do? They will invest money against you. Hello? They'll invest money and power against you. That is not the way to approach life. It is very, very important that we see what is the transformation that needs to happen in the society, in the business, in the way we conduct everything. For this, we need a framework of policy. If this is the law, everybody will adjust to that, isn't it? Well, it may not happen overnight, but if we start moving it now, we are very, very clear. In 12 to 15 years' time, getting the world's soils to 3 to 6% is very much a reality, very much, if all the nations act now. Thank you very much and… What's it? What is it? What is it? What is it? Talk to her, what is it? Hello, you can say it hello. Don't… I know, but this is, yesterday there have been 3.3 million coronavirus cases. I don't know if you are Miss Corona or not, how do I know? Hey. No, you're not listening to me, I'm saying, yesterday there have been 3.3 million… You must listen to me. There are 3.3 million cases of coronavirus in UK alone. How do I know you're not Miss Corona? So I have 100 days to travel, just keep me healthy, say hello right there, okay? I'll come back. Oh, she wants to hug me, I'm coming back after 100 days if I survive, okay? So all this shouting and clapping is fine, but you got to make it happen. In case I don't make it, you must make it happen. The young people here should stand up and make it happen. Thank you very much. Where is that little girl who wants to talk? Where is she? All right. Yes, I will do that. I will start hugging this 6,000… No, I'm going to go in a queue and hug everybody. It'll take 100 days, I think. Oh, wow, whoa. Thank you. You want to say something? Turn this way. No, turn this way.
Sadhguru, thank you for saving our soil and saving my future. I hope you have a lovely journey across the world.
Am I supposed to ride on my motorcycle from here and go? The flag? Boom! Thank you very much. Wonderful. You want to say something?
Thank you for saving our soil.
I know she wants to hug me very badly, but today we'll keep it away because, you know, there is a pandemic and there's a situation. What's the plan? Am I walking through here? I can walk through here if… what's your name? If everybody is not Maria out here if all of you are not as passionate as Maria, I could walk through this aisle and then get to the motorcycle and ride away. Can you manage that? No, if you sit down, everybody, if you sit down, it'll be good when I walk through, I can see you. If you stand up, it'll all go away and become a mess. And there is a soil man here. Where is he? Hey, look at this soil man. Come here. Namaskaram. Don't cover yourself, man. Yeah. This is a soil man. What kind are you? What kind are you?
Soil man.
All the Marias in the crowd, will you hold yourself? Please don't get too close, please sit beyond the aisle. Everybody remain seated so that I can spend a little time with you and go. And I will ride away in the front, you can be there, not get in the way. Question answer you want? Please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What questions do you have? Huh?
Number 3, okay, yeah, so Sadhguru, thanks for coming to London. So since we are in London, we have a lot of huge parks, the Richmond Park, Bushy Park, Hyde Park, and then we have these areas of outstanding natural beauty. So my question is, I come from a small town, Lucknow, in UP.
Hey Maria, hello. That's for you. Okay, hold back the hug, all right?
So, Maria, I'm super jealous. Yeah, so Sadhguru, like in my hometown, we had a lot of mango yards 20 years ago, like big ones. And now most of them have vanished. And my cousins who are in village, they go to New Delhi, Bombay for these call center jobs, and they kind of look down upon farming. So my first question is like, what can we do? Like you talked about the framework. So what can we do to have like farming entrepreneurs as a white collar respected job? And my second related question…
No, let me answer this question, please sit down. So, why is it that people are leaving farming and going elsewhere? We have said enough about it. But today we have made some kind of a survey in India. Hey, that place looks so crowded, how will I go through that? I'll go this way if you do this. Please manage this, okay? We have made a certain survey in India. What we find is, not even 2% of the farmers want their children to become farmers. Why is it so? You think it's philosophical or religious or some other nonsense? No, it's simply economically senseless to do farming right now. So unless you make the farming a very remunerative process, unless you make it in such a way a farmer will earn as much as a doctor or a lawyer or an IT professional, nobody will go for it. It's an economic issue. This is why when we go to the farmers, we never ever talk about ecology or environment or saving the world or something. It is simply purely an economic process, how to make it more profitable. Without that, it will not last. This whole magic of how to transform mud into food is not a small thing. You may be educated, but you cannot grow a crop and take it out because it has a certain intrinsic knowledge attached to it. Unfortunately, that's not being valued in the marketplace or in the society. So if people move away from this, if people lose the ability or the knowledge or the capability of raising crops and making food out of it, well, again, getting a new generation into it is going to be extremely difficult because this is something that they have learned over thousands of years, they just imbibed it. It's very important to preserve that if it has to be preserved. The most important thing is that we need to make it highly remunerative, there's simply no other way. Economically, it must be an attractive proposition. Anyway, there is a soil anthem. Please, it's okay, till you get me 4 billion people, no questions, no answers. La 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 You need to do a jiggle.
Depleted soils will not quench the fire of hunger. Unquenched hunger can burn the very world. This is a generational responsibility. Save soil. Let's make it happen.
la la